Welcome to the Wize Solutions Forklift Safety Training and Certification. My name is Billy Campbell, the Director of Safety, and this is your course. In order to be certified forklift operator here at Wize Solutions, you must complete the following. Complete the Wize Solution Forklift Operator online classroom training. Upon completion of the online classroom training, you'll be required to take a written exam and score 80% or higher. You will then go over hands-on training with your supervisor, and upon completion of your hands-on training, they will have you conduct a driving test. They will sign off on your driving test. Once I receive both the written exam with an 80% or higher and a signed-off driving test by your supervisor, I will issue you a driver's license and a certificate for a specific type of forklift your supervisor has authorized you to operate here at Wize Solutions. The definition for a powered industrial truck, or PIT, an industrial vehicle that carries, pushes, pulls, stacks, or tiers loads, include fork trucks, platform lift trucks, motorized hand trucks, and other specialized industrial trucks powered by electrical motors or internal combustion engines. Wize uses propane, LPG, and diesel dual fuel forklifts. Excludes vehicles that are used for earth moving or over-the-road hauling and compressed air or non-flammable compressed gas operated industrial trucks. First thing, it is against the law for anyone under 18 to operate a forklift. This is both a state and federal law. These battery-operated electric forklifts are typically used in warehouses where lack of ventilation makes the use of propane, diesel, or gasoline-powered forklifts a carbon monoxide hazard. These specialized electric forklifts are used primarily in warehouses with high stacks of stored goods. Sometimes here at Wize Solutions, at certain sites, these types are used. This is another common type of forklift often used outdoors, except here at Wize has an approved IH program for certain models to be used both inside and outside. Check with myself for specific job, location, and general contractor guidance. This is another common type of forklift often used outdoors, but here also at Wize, we have an approved IH program for certain models to be used both inside and outside. Check with myself for specific job, location, and general contractor guidance. These heavy-duty vehicles will not be covered specifically, but most of the information in this course would apply to them as well. Here at Wize, this also falls under IH program. Certain models can be used inside if approved by the general contractor. These come in handy specifically for low capacity requirements in some of our material handling. These classes are types of forklifts that Wize Solutions does not use on the job site. If that ever changes, training and PIT program will be updated. While the average automobile weighs around 3,000 pounds, the average forklift weighs around 9,000 pounds. Also, forklifts are heavier in the rear to counter the weight of items being carried in the forks. And while cars have brakes on all four wheels, most forklifts only have stopping power in their front drive wheels. For that reason, forklifts are harder to stop, so they should be driven slowly. This photo shows the parts of a standard forklift. Other types will vary. All use hydraulic fluid to operate the forks. Most have a large counterweight in the rear to help balance a load on the front. Most have an overhead guard to protect the operator from falling objects. The main lifting work of the forklift is done with the forks and the mast, powered by the motor. Sometimes, older forklifts will develop a leak of hydraulic fluid. Without sufficient hydraulic fluid, the forks will not operate properly, especially with the load, and a puddle of hydraulic fluid on a cement floor is a slipping hazard. Your supervisor will go over with you during your hands-on training. The nameplate gives important information about the capacity of the forklift. These must be readable at all times so anyone who operates the forklift will know its capacity and to not overload it. When I am on site, one question I will ask to test the operator is, do they know the weight of the load they are carrying, and is it within the load capacity of the forklift they are operating? The forklift manual will be present on the forklift. I'll be checking with the forklift operator when I am on site. Life Solution forklift operators must know the forklift stability triangle. They must know the boundaries of that stability triangle. As the load is raised up and away, the center of gravity also shifts up and away from the middle of the forklift. If it moves outside the triangle formed by the front wheels and the center of the rear axle, the forklift will tip forward or fall to the side. Life Solution forklift operators must always know the condition and the position of their load. As the load is raised up and away, the center of gravity also shifts up and away from the middle of the forklift. If it moves outside the triangle formed by the front wheels and the center of the rear axle, the forklift will tip forward or fall to the side. As you can see from these illustrations, the center of gravity of the load should be as close to the forklift wheels and mast as possible. In addition to the points on this slide, you should not pick up a load with just the tip or front part of the forks. Place the forks all the way under the load and then tip it back slightly. You may need to tilt the forks forward slightly to get under the load and later to deposit the load, but all other times the forks need to be tilted back. When you drive on an incline with a load, always have the load on the uphill side. In addition, it's especially important to tilt the load backward and keep it low. Raise the forks just enough to clear the surface. Forklift can turn over for all the reasons shown on this slide. In case of a tip over, whatever you do, don't jump. Hold on and lean away from the direction of the fall. You may be shook up and banged up a bit, but you will survive. Forklift fatalities have occurred when the operator was either thrown out of the forklift or they tried to jump out when the forklift overturned. Seat belts prevent that. Keep your seatbelt on. Wize Solutions will document the pre-shift inspection if the general contractor requires. OSHA does not dictate an actual documented inspection. However, they do require a pre-shift inspection. Therefore, Wize will conduct pre-shift inspections prior to operations daily as indicated in this training, and the hands-on training your supervisor will go over with you. If the general contractor requires a pre-shift inspection, use the Wize Solutions Cognito Equipment Inspection Form or form provided by the general contractor. Propane is safe to use as long as it is contained. However, as this slide indicates, a large leak is a major hazard that could result in a fireball with severe burns to you or nearby workers. Some companies may have a propane cylinder exchange system where a propane vendor supplies full cylinders in exchange for empty ones. If you switch out empty cylinders with full ones, just remember to make sure all valves on the cylinders are closed. Your supervisor will go over with you changing out the propane tanks during your hands-on training. If you have to change or charge batteries on your electric forklift, you could be exposed to the hazards of burns from battery acid or fire from hydrogen gas. Because of their weight, batteries are typically lifted with a hydraulic hoist. If you are the one that has to do that, be sure you know how to operate the hoist correctly. Your supervisor will cover this in your hands-on training. Using an unapproved attachment can alter the forklift's lifting and balance characteristics and lead to the forklift overturning. The forklift must be marked in some way to show the weight of the attachment. This is usually found on the nameplate, unless it has been altered by a user without consulting the manufacturer. Doing so is actually a violation of forklift safety regulations. Wize Solutions will tape off the work area. It is the forklift operator's responsibility to always communicate with all traffic and personnel while on the job site. Wide loads are susceptible to shifting or sliding off the forks and of course make it difficult to maneuver in tight places. Irregular size loads can shift the center of gravity in unexpected ways. Caution in handling these types of loads is necessary. This is a common occurrence here at Wize Solutions while on the job site. The forklift operator will have to demonstrate proficiency in maneuvering irregular loads to the staging area for the materials prior to installation. Wize Solutions does not authorize anyone except a licensed forklift operator to ride on the forklift. Forklift operators must be attentive to all blind spots. Walk the area first prior to running through. Check all surface areas. Check obstacles to the left and right. Check all overhangs for low clearances, sprinkler systems, or any obstructions. If not confident in the route, use a ground guide.